My name's John Kennedy, and this is TeaSmith, which is a specialty tea house. We're at the specialty end of the tea market, and it's one of the interesting things about tea which many people in the UK don't actually appreciate, given how prevalent the British Empire was at the time. The fact that we were producing imperial tea and spreading it so far and wide is the main reason that we're known as this nation of tea drinkers. But we weren't able to produce anything like the same variety and style of tea that they did in China, so we ended up being almost pigeonholed into one particular style of tea, which is the black style, that would be made slightly more smooth by adding a little bit of milk. We have some sort of familiar British styles of tea for emergencies. People who come here are quite receptive to the idea that there is something beyond the commodity or industrially produced tea bag. Once people have been drinking tea for quite a while, they'll select the tea based on the effect that they are trying to get. And this is one of the big differences between the industrially produced teas and what we call exceptional teas. It's that these teas are produced much slower, so the plants are growing at their natural pace. So given the fact that they're growing slowly, the tea leaves themselves are developing lots of flavour and also lots of effect. Greener teas have an energising effect. Darker teas work more on the digestive system. So basically you'd be picking a tea mainly based on the effect. So you'd be familiar with the effect of the tea when it's young, and it can be intriguing to follow that effect and see how it develops as the tea ages. So it's a different way of approaching it. It's one of, I think, the unique things about tea is that you have all of the familiar attributes of a gourmet specialist food product. So there's the provenance, there's the artisan skill of the producers, there's the tastes, there's the aftertaste, there's the aroma, there's the visuals of the leaves. But then there's this extra thing, which is the life force of the tea plant itself, the cha cheese. And the way I experience it is kind of like the Iron Man having his sort of energy pack installed. You suddenly feel this sort of really nice energy source in the body. You start to stand up a bit straighter. I start to speak a little bit faster. But it's a more it seems to be more gentle than a full-on caffeine. People who are specialist wine tasters, for instance, their first instinct when tasting tea is to get all analytical about what's actually going on, and really you want to try and switch that off and experience the tea, see how it makes you feel. It's a way of experiencing things, and people in East Asia are very comfortable with the concept of everything having a property. It might have a cooling property, it might have some fire energy, it might be energizing, it might have a good digestive effect. So they're more in tune with that than we are typically in how we're brought up.